Hi, my name's Alan Noak. I've got a degree in maths and computing, and I was one of the early users of computing. I had a ZX Spectrum and a ZX80, and I actually had the Sinclair machine prior to the ZX80 that a friend and I put together. That was called the MK14. So I've been playing around with computers, worked in the computer industry for probably about, over 25 years. I'm now a qualified maths teacher. I've also taught some computing. What I've decided to do is put this little blog together, video blog, and keep a diary. I did my final year degree project in fractals, and I heard about the Raspberry Pi. So what I've decided to do is document my experiences with the Raspberry Pi, and I'm going to try and use it for producing fractals and fractal images. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll record some video logs and just keep a track. So here it is, I've got my Raspberry Pi at last, it's arrived. I'll show you it here. I've got the package from RS Components, based in Corby. It's been a long time coming. I've waited quite a long time, so I have not even looked at it yet, so I thought I'd share that experience with you, and we're going to open it. So here we go. See if we can open it up and tell you what's inside. Right, so when you receive a Raspberry Pi, it's going to look something like this. Okay, my first experience is nice. It comes in a sort of raspberry coloured package, which I think is a nice touch. It's a bit like Christmas, this. I remember receiving my first ZX Spectrum, it's been a bit like that, waiting for the ZX Spectrum to arrive and then learning how to program it. And I don't know what it's going to be like with the Raspberry Pi anyway. So I have here what I hope is maybe a power supply. I'm going to open that up. Yeah, it's looking like a power supply. Okay, so I ordered a few extra components. So the Raspberry Pi just comes as one component. I'll show you the other bits that I bought as they come out of the box. So here it is, standard sort of power supply, badged up with RS Components. So I've got the power supply there. I've ordered a USB cable, and we're going to see what that is. Let's open it up, and it looks to be about, let's see how long that is. Yeah, it's quite a short cable. This is a network cable, it's not a USB cable. Okay, so standard network cable, quite short, just under a metre really. So we've got power supply and a network cable. Let's see what else we've got in this magic box of tricks. So still got some other bits. Obviously the paperwork, and here Pi case clear. Right. You do have the option of ordering cases for the Raspberry Pi to go into, and I chose, it was a little bit pricey, but I thought it'd be quite nice to actually have a clear box so you could see the Raspberry Pi working inside. So here we go, that comes like that, looks rather nice, and a special design to hold my Raspberry Pi. And presumably I can open that up and fix the Raspberry Pi inside it. So that's going to hold it. And let's see what we got next. Okay. So now we do have, this does look like the main cable. So this is a HDMI cable, okay, with Ethernet. So that's a HDMI cable. So I can connect that obviously to a TV screen, so I chose this, connects to the Raspberry Pi, and that's going to allow me to connect the computer to a TV screen. So we've got power, we've got a case for it, we've got an Ethernet cable, and we've got an HDMI cable to connect it to a TV screen. Now you also need to buy some sort of operating system for your Raspberry Pi, and this small packet here has an SD card in it. As you can see, standard sort of SD card. And I'm going to try and open that up and we can get into it. And it is a 4 GB card, and it does say that it has Raspberry Pi OS on there, so Raspberry Pi operating system. So that's a 4 GB card. Okay, good so far. And finally, here's the Raspberry Pi itself. It's a tiny little box. I'm intrigued. It's got a security seal on it, and presumably we open up the box. Quite interesting. It says supplied under license by RS Components. I'll just put that up to the screen so that you can see that Raspberry Pi, and I'm going to open it up. Right, I've got to undo the security seal. So invalid if seal broken. Okay, so I assume that's just to be sure that before I get it. So once I've opened it up, I'm going to try and see if we can get in, so that they obviously secure it. Just running my nail down the side of the box, and let's have a look at this. Okay, there it is. So it is like a little tiny motherboard. There seems to be some instructions in the box, and I'll publish those on the blog, and we'll have a look at those in due course, and I'll put some photographs up of each of the parts that I decided to buy on the blog. So here we go. My very first view of the Raspberry Pi. Yeah, it's actually smaller than I was expecting. And what do we got here? So we've got some sort of video one. This will be for power. A couple of USB ports on the side there. An Ethernet port. And I can sort of read on there. I'm going to hold that up to the camera, and you can see you've basically got video port, power port, 2 USB, and you've also got the Ethernet port there as a network. And I assume, I'm not 100% sure, that the SD card either goes on the back there. Can you see that? Probably looks like it goes there, yeah, there is actually another little port there. So it's intriguing. It's got all these little ports all around it for connecting it to things. So I've got my Raspberry Pi now. My challenge to myself is to use this Raspberry Pi to experiment with fractals. If you don't know what fractal is, again, I'll put some details on the blog. As I use the Raspberry Pi to explore what it can do, then we'll see what fractals we can produce. So please keep watching. I'll keep typing, and we'll sort of log this journey of what we can achieve with this little device. It's quite exciting, and hopefully inspire you to maybe get one yourself and see what you can do with yours. So that's my challenge. Raspberry Pi, let's see what it can do, and we're going to try and create some fractals. Okay, thank you.